what I want to go over is something called the Solomon paradox. And I've heard of this before, but it recently came back into my mind because it's so funny. And what I'm about to say is gonna be so true for all you ladies. Basically, the Solomon paradox is you're so good at giving advice, but yet we can't take our own advice a lot of the times. And I saw all those smiles pop up, so I know you know what I'm talking about. Now, why is this related to weight loss? Well, I mean, when I talk to thousands and thousands of women in a year at a time, and one of the biggest things I hear is, I know what to do, I just can't do it. Right? We know that we probably shouldn't have the extra piece of cake. We know we probably should have measured the rice that we had. We know we probably should have got that workout in instead of, sleeping in, right? We know what we should have done, but why didn't we do it? So, what I want to share with you today is a trick that's actually going to help you be able to take your own advice, and actually a trick that's going to help you kind of know any answer in a situation and come up with an answer that you're happy with and can actually follow. Weight loss and not what weight loss related. So, what do we do? So with the Solomon paradox, we're very good at giving advice. I'm sure you've given advice, maybe even today. I'm sure you've given weight loss advice, maybe marriage advice, maybe raising your kids advice. You definitely give advice in your job about your career. So we're no strangers to giving advice, right? So, why are we so good at giving it, yet we just can't seem to frickin' take it? We know better, but we're not acting better. What's going on? Well, it's hard to open up to people, right? Like who's a better listener than you are at sharing your feelings? Like it's really tough for you to say what's on your mind and how you're feeling, and it's uncomfortable, but you're really good, and you encourage people to share their feelings with you. Now, why is that? Why are you a better listener than a sharer? Well, I think there's multiple reasons, and I think some of them are valid. But I think mainly, number one, we don't like being burdens. We don't want to we don't want people to know that we're having a hard time, because the people that we love will then be unhappy that we're unhappy. And we just don't want to do that. We don't want to put burdens on people, number one. Number two, we don't want to be known as the person that's kind of like negativity dumping all the time. And I'm sure you have one of those in your life. Do you have a relative like that? That every time you talk to them, you can almost guess within the first 5 minutes of conversation, they're going to bring up, who they got into a fight with that day, or, who they know that died again, right? Like, I have a relative who, like, I know within 10 minutes, she's going to tell me all of her friends that died. Like, I just know it, right? Like, negativity dumps. And we don't want to be that person. So that's why we also keep things to ourselves. But then the last reason is also because we know that people don't really forget, right? If we share that we're having a tough time, maybe let's say in our marriage, the people that we tell that to, they're never going to forget that, right? So maybe you have having a rough patch with your husband, and then you tell, your mom. Your mom is wants to help you, but now she's never going to forget that about your husband, and that might change their relationship, and so on and so forth, right? So people don't forget when you tell them things. So this is the really hard part. If you can't tell people honestly what's on your mind, who can you tell? Like, who is there for you to help you in this time where it's not going to backfire on you? Okay. Now, one answer would be, of course, our community, right? But even then, there's a level of comfort. Even then, you're not gonna, I mean, I do say, yes, we're coaches, but a lot of times we're also therapists. Like, I get it. And we open that door because weight loss is an emotional topic. And a lot of the times, weight loss is a symptom, right? Why did we gain weight? Weight gain is not the problem. There was a reason behind it. And we gained weight as a symptom of something, as emotional eating, as a trauma in our life, as a boredom response, as a comfort thing, something, right? So weight gain is a symptom. And yes, we are therapists in this community to walk you through the emotional side, but there's a level to that, right? There's a level to where we can only help you so much. So if you can't really turn to your family, because I'm sure they're the ones that turn to you, right? Let's be honest. And there's no one to turn to, and you can definitely use this community to a level, but then there's another level of, who do I have to lean on? Because going on a weight loss journey, going on a health journey, going on a self empowerment and growth journey is very lonely, because there's very few people that take that road. There's very few people that last on that road. I'm sure you also have a friend in your life that hops from thing to thing, right? Trying a new program, going to a new exercise class, buying a new ticket to a seminar or something like that. Like always like the growth hopper, but not really growing up. They're kind of just growing sideways, you know? Um, and so we don't want to be that person either. So the question still is, who do we talk to? Who do we rely on? Because you're gonna snap. Like there's a limit. You do have a limit, you know. Or at least a limit to where you're no longer productive in helping yourself, right? Maybe you are limitless in the amount of burden of other people that you can carry. Maybe you are that strong, but then you're going to have to turn off you to be able to do that. So here's a little trick that's really going to kind of rewrite that for you and give you somebody to lean on. Okay? So who is it? Well, you need to start having conversations with your 90-year-old self and take it serious and pull up a chair beside you, an empty little chair, and start talking and thinking and have a conversation with your future self. Why? Well, your future self really loves you. And your future self is so proud of you because you've accomplished so many cool things to them that you didn't even know you did yet. They are so proud of you. They care about you more than anybody in the world. They are very objective and can give you very wise advice because they're not in the heat of the moment anymore. They're not in the trenches. They made it out. The 90-year-old version of you is the only person that will ever truly understand you. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Because I think we can all agree you're still learning yourself in this moment, right? And if you're still learning yourself, well, definitely your spouse or your family, your kids, they're definitely still learning you too then if you don't even know you fully. So who can you talk to that understands you better than you do right now? And that is your 90-year-old self. They're going to be objective. They're going to be honest. They're going to give you the truth and the wisdom that you need to hear in a way that you will hear it. A lot of times when we do offer advice to people, we offer it for what they need and for how they'll receive it. That's often why we don't take it. Because it's not coming from somebody that let's use the word respect. Here's the thing, when I had 80 pounds on my body, to me, now that I'm looking back on it, I didn't respect myself. I didn't. If I did, I wouldn't have treated my body that way. I would have fed my soul properly, which would then have made me choose to feed my body properly. So it wasn't respect. So the reason you can't take your own advice, apart from having a really hard time opening up to other people, is the fact that you don't respect yourself 100%. Now, that's not something we need to be sad over, but the good news is, guess who you do respect? Your 90-year-old self. And guess what? They've got a confidentiality agreement too. Everything you tell them, they're not going to blab their mouth or judge you. So I encourage you, if you feel lonely, if you feel like you're struggling, if you feel like nobody understands you, because by the way, the more successful you become, the more people want to tear you down. And maybe some of you have experienced this where you lose a certain amount of weight and then people will tell you, oh, you don't need to lose anymore. When you know you have a goal in your mind and you're like, yeah, I really do. Not because I'm obsessed, not because I want to be skinny, but I'm really excited to push myself and get to this healthy level and see what I look like at that number, at that body fat percentage, at that fitness level, right? But some people will just, the sabotage gets louder and louder. And it does get lonelier and lonelier at the top. There's less space to stand at the top of the mountain than there is at the base of the mountain. That's why it's lonely. You can't take people with you. In fact, they want to bring you back down because they miss that old version of you. And that's not them being bad people, but it is a reality. So who do you have on your side? Because I know you cannot do this all by yourself. If we gained weight in the first place, it means we have cracks showing a little bit. And I can be the first to say that when I had the 80 pounds on me, I was very emotional. I was very reactive. I was very irrational with stresses and the traumas and the things that I went through. And it wasn't until I lost the weight where I realized, it was a form of respect. Treating your body right and being a healthy body weight and having these healthy habits, it is the highest form of self-respect. And on your journey to get to your destination, which by the way, the second we reach our destination, we've already created a new one in our mind, so we're never going to reach it. So just enjoy now, enjoy right now. Please remember that. On our way, we're still building respect. And respect comes from not passing judgment, which I think every woman needs to get better at. I think we are the toughest on ourselves. Like we just We expect so much of ourselves. And yes, you should have high standards, but it's also not very productive when we tear ourselves down in our mind and we get so down on ourselves that it makes us not want to do anything, right? Because how can we possibly ever live up to ourselves? But my point being, if you are on this self-improvement journey, that means you're kind of the end goal is to have the ultimate respect for yourself, right? Because looking good, being healthy are bonuses of saying, ha ha, I did it, right? Ha ha, I proved you wrong. Or, oh my God, I finally did it. After all of these years, after all of the struggle, holy shit, I actually did it. We are after these feelings. But sometimes we forget that and we place it on, outputs, right? The end goal instead of the inputs. What can we do today that will make hitting that output very unlikely not to do? Right? What can I do today to hit that goal? Right? It's like if I want to be 20 pounds down at the end of October, the goal should not be I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, that's the start of how you build a goal because you can't quantify how to do that. You can't even qualify how to do that. If I worked out 20 minutes for 30 days straight, would it be unreasonable for me to not hit that goal? Yes. Okay, what else? If I drank 3 liters of water every day for 30 days, would it be unreasonable for me to not hit that goal? Yes. Now, these are things that you can measure, right? Instead of October passing, you're thinking you're doing these things, and then we're not at our goal. And so the whole idea here is this Solomon complex and paradox of not being able to take our own advice. It just goes down to you don't respect yourself enough to believe that what you're saying is true. But you do respect the older version of yourself, the wiser version of yourself, the version of yourself that is proud and already accomplished what you're trying so hard to do right now. And the best part about them is they don't judge you one bit. You do not have to wear a mask. You do not have to say the right thing. You do not have to be strong. You can break down if you want to. And so if you're wondering, why am I so good at helping other people? And why do I feel like I burn out all the time? And why can't I be consistent with putting me first and consistently choosing healthy food and getting my butt off the couch to move? If I can't be consistent, what is going on? Well, you're not getting the right advice, the right input, because you're not respecting yourself to get it. You got to get it from somewhere else. So what I encourage you to do, ladies, pull up a chair, sit on a couch, and literally turn to that empty couch seat or that empty chair. Like that 90-year-old there, 90-year-old you is there. Close your eyes if you want to imagine all the beautiful wrinkles on your face, the map of your life on your face, the laugh lines from smiling so much, the frown lines from, pushing through all the hard times, all that stuff. Imagine her. What has she gone through? And what does she have to tell you that you need to hear? What do you need to hear? Because you already know it. But without that full respect, you won't believe it and take it to heart and use it. But you will respect her. So this is one of the biggest tricks I can give you to stop judging yourself, to get more in tune with yourself, to speed up your journey, to always have answers to things that you don't think you know the answer for, to always help you make decisions when you don't know how to make a decision, whether it's small ones, right? Should I eat the donut? Should I not? Or big ones. Should I move countries or not? Right? This is the person that you trust the most. This person. And if you haven't been talking to her, boy, are you missing out. It's the most important person in your life. It's like a mentor, a best friend. It's everything all in one. And we were not fostering that relationship. So go talk to your 90-year-old self tonight. And I would love to hear, I'd love to hear what she had to say. I think she's going to shock you. And I think it's going to be exactly what you've been needing to hear. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you got any value at all, I'd love it if you left a 5-star review to help more women find this podcast and get the support that they need. And if you're looking to speed up your weight loss and take your transformation to the next level, then head on over to Trimera.com. TRIMMERA.com. I'll catch you on the next episode, and welcome to your Trim Era.